Thank you so much, Trevor. And once again, hello, universe. Welcome to John's Sports Corner on the Sosofat Media Network. A very good afternoon. Before we march into this afternoon's sports roundup, let me again remind you to go to Winner Circle Radar in the Sosofat shop and purchase your choice of merchandise that's listed. You could find something there to make an unusual birthday gift, or Valentine's Day coming up in another 2 weeks. Who knows? Something unusual is there. Instead of chocolate or flowers on Valentine's Day, give something unusual. There are t-shirts, of course, mugs, backpacks, sorrel, and certainly I can't forget the great Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee. As a matter of fact, I know Christmas is gone, but some of you might still be pinching that black cake, and a cup of the great Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee will go so very well with a piece of that cake. Let's talk sports. As usual, we start with birthdays. And yesterday, Janine Williams, a young athlete, celebrated a birthday. So too, Jessica Ennis Hill, a British Olympian heptathlete, celebrated a birthday. While today, one of Antigua's and West Indies' great fast bowlers, Andy Roberts, celebrates a birthday. So too, Jamaican Olympian Rashid Dwyer and one of the former great Brazilian soccer players of yesteryear, Romario, celebrates a birthday today. Tomorrow, Johnny Smith, world champion medalist out of Jamaica, celebrates a birthday. On Sunday, Jahid Hyde, Olympian out of Jamaica, celebrates a birthday. So too, Shanika Ricketts, who won a silver medal in the Paris Olympic Games in the triple jump. And on Monday, a good friend of mine, another former Jamaican athlete, Tony Carr, celebrates a birthday. Well, let's talk cricket as West Indies strolled to a 120-run win over Pakistan in the second and final Multan Test. West Indies' first Test win on Pakistan soil since 1990. West Indies 163 and 244, Pakistan 154 and 133. Player of the match and player of the series, Jamel Warrican, he picked up 9 for 70 in that second test. And of course, he got 10 wickets in the first test. And while snaring a series equaling 19 wickets in the two-test series. Warrican was also adjudged bowler of the match for his 9 wickets, and Gudakesh Moti, striker of the match for his first innings, 55, while Norman Ali was awarded the outstanding performance of the match for his hat-trick. Matter of fact, he is the first Pakistan spinner to get a hat-trick in Test cricket. West Indies women, meanwhile, wrapped up the 3-game one-day international series against Bangladesh women by winning Game 3 by 8 wickets, and the series 2-1. Bangladesh women, 118 in 43.5 overs. Sharmin Akhtar, 37. Karishma Ramharak, 4 for 12 from 6.5 overs. Zayda James, 2 for 15 from 7 overs. West Indies women, 122 for 2 from 27.3 overs. Kiana Joseph, 39. Deandra Dotting, 33 not out. And Shemaine Campbell, 25 not out. Player of the match and player of the series was Karishma Ramharak. The series moved now on to the 3-game T10 leg of the tour at Warner Park in St. Kitts, with Game 1 on Monday, and West Indies drew first blood by defeating the Bangladesh women by 8 wickets. Bangladesh women 144 for 3 from 20 overs. Nigar Sultana Jyoti 53 not out. Charmin Akhtar 37. Sharian Fraser, Haley Matthews, and Afi Fletcher picked up 1 wicket each. West Indies women 145 for 2 from 16.5 overs. Haley Matthews 60 not out. Deandra Darting 51 not out. Fahima Hayton 2 for 15 from 3 overs. And folks, Deandra Darting's 51 of 22 balls is the fastest 50 in women's 2020 international cricket. Game 2 in progress actually as we speak, and West Indies are batting. And actually, when I last checked, they were 43 without loss after 4.3 overs. And I am going to try and see if I can get you a quick score, the current score in that game before we close our program for this afternoon. Anyway, also ahead for West Indies women is the 2025 ICC Women's Cricket World Cup qualifying tournament, where 2 teams from Malaysia, Ireland, Scotland, Pakistan, and Thailand will advance to the World Cup in India in August through September of this year. West Indies under 19 women, well, unfortunately, they have said adios to the under 19 ICC Women's Under 19 World Cup after losing their Super 6 Group 1 game to Bangladesh under 19 women by 10 wickets. Reduced to 13 overs because of rain, West Indies under 19 women 54 for 6 from 13 overs. Bangladesh women 55 without loss from 8.5 overs rather. And while in the other Group 1 game, Sri Lanka under 19 by 12 runs over Australia under 19. Sri Lanka 99 for 8 from 20 overs. Australia women 87 for 8 from their 20. Despite the loss, the Aussies are through to the semi-final, where they will face South Africa under 19 women tomorrow. In Group 2 of the Super 6, Scotland under 19 women wiped out India under 19 by 150 runs. India under 19, Scotland were wiped out by India women. India under 19 women, 208 for 1 from 20 overs. Scotland under 19 women, 58 in 14 overs. In the second game in Group 2, Nigeria under 19 women by 6 runs over Ireland under 19 women. Nigeria 94 for 7 from 20. Ireland 88 in 18.4 overs. The second semi-final on Friday will be England under 19. They play India under 19. And again, but tomorrow, South Africa under 19 will take on Australia under 19. The Jamaica Cricket Association named their squad for the 4-day cricket championships, regional cricket championships. Captain is John Campbell, Vice Captain Kirk McKenzie, O'Dane McCarthy, Carlos Brown, Daniel Beckford is wicketkeeper, O'Dean Smith, Brad Barnes, Jermaine Blackwood, Javel Glenn, Tamari Redwood, Jevo Royal, Gordon Bryan, and Marquino Minley. The Scorpions actually opened against the Windward Volcanoes at Arnos Vale earlier today, and at Stumps, when Bad Light stopped play, Jamaica Scorpions closed at 291 for the loss of 7 wickets, with Jermaine Blackwood on 101 not out. Great to see Jermaine Blackwood getting some runs. You'll recall that last year, he not only lost his job as the captain of the Scorpions, but he was dropped after, I think, those 5 games because he was not scoring any runs. John Campbell, 79. Daniel Beckford, 39. Darrell Cyrus, 2 for 26. And that's at Stump. So Jamaica will come back tomorrow morning, 291 for 7. Guyana Harpy Eagles against the Barbados Pride at Providence. Barbados Pride bowled out for 346. Matthew Ford, 82. Jonathan Drake, 70. Zachary McCaskey, 64. Richie Lucknow, 4 for 69. Ronaldo Ali Mohammed, 2 for 37, and Veerasamy Permaul, 2 for 87. So the Eagles coming to bat tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, at the Coolidge Cricket Ground, West Indies Academy and the Leewards Hurricanes are in action, and at Stumps, Leewards were 290 for 6, Jamar Hamilton, 67 not out, Kareem Agour, 59, Hadim Henry, 48, and Joshua Bishop, 4 for 81. England pulled one back on India in their 5-game 2020 series by winning Game 3 by 26 runs in Rajkot yesterday. England 171 for 9 from 20 overs. Ben Duckett, 51. Liam Livingstone, 43. Varun Chakravarti, 5 for 24 from 4 overs. Hardik Pandya, 2 for 33 from his 4 overs. India, 145 for 9 from 20 overs. Hardik Pandya top scoring with 40. Jamie Overton, 3 for 24 from 4 overs. Bryden Cars, 2 for 28 from 4. And Jofra Archer, 2 for 33 from 4 overs. India lead the series 2-1. Game 4 in Pune on Friday. And a burst of rain sent players scurrying late in day 1 of the Sri Lanka-Australia Galley First Test. And with further play impossible, Australia closed day 1 on 330 for the loss of 2 wickets. Usman Khawaja is 147 not out at the wicket, with Steve Smith 104 not out. Travis Head, 57. Prabhat Javasurya and Jeffrey Van der See have taken a wicket each. Now, Steve Smith passed 10,000 runs, test runs, with his first run today. He went into the game on 9,999 test runs. He is the 15th cricketer to score 10,000 test runs and the 4th Australian after Alan Border, Steve Waugh, and Ricky Ponting. And with Pat Cummins out on paternity leave, Steve Smith has been handed the captain's armband. Indian fast bowler Jasprit Bumrah named ICC Test Cricketer of the Year 2024. He was equally effective at home and away. In 2024, he picked up 71 Test wickets. His 71 Test wickets made him the 4th Indian bowler to get more than 70 wickets in a calendar year. The others are Ravi Ashwin, Anil Kumble, and Kapil Dev. Afghanistan all-rounder Azmatullah Amarzai has been named the One-Day International Cricketer of the Year. He helped Afghanistan win 4 one-day series throughout the year, defeating Ireland, South Africa, Bangladesh, and Zimbabwe. Now, guys, we talked a couple weeks ago, and we're talking about the action now being taken by the Board of Control for Cricket in India, who seem to be taking the bull by the horn following that series loss to Australia a few weeks ago. And because it seems as if sometimes athletes and even teams forget what got them to the top of their profession. And so the Board of Control for Cricket in India have laid out a 10-point plan going forward. Players will have to adhere to. Number one, participation in domestic matches is mandatory for players to remain eligible for selection in the national team. Two, all players are expected to travel with the team to and from matches and practice sessions. Separate travel arrangements with families are discouraged. Exceptions must be pre-approved by the head coach and chairman of the selection committee. Number three, players are expected to adhere to excess baggage limits. Any excess will not be borne, will now be borne by the individual player. Number four, personal staff will be restricted on tours or series unless explicitly approved by the Board of Control for Cricket in India. And that personal staff, Trevor, is not really limited to personal managers, chefs, assistants, and security. Number five, players must coordinate with team management regarding equipment and personal items being sent to the Center of Excellence in Bengaluru. Number six, leaving practice sessions early is now a no-no. All players are required to stay for the entire duration of the scheduled practice session and travel together to and from the venue. Number seven, players are not permitted to engage in personal shoots or endorsements during an ongoing series or tour. It avoids distractions, according to the board. Number eight, there's a family travel policy. If a player is away from India for more than 45 days, his family may join him within a specific for 2 weeks within a specific visitation frame. Any deviation from this policy must be pre-approved. 9, players are required to be available for the Board of Control for Cricket official shoots, promotional activities, and functions. And finally, item number 10, if matches end early, players are required to stay with the team until the scheduled end of a series or tour. That means that if a test match ends in 3 days, you can't get up and leave to go home if it's the final test. You have to remain for the duration of the 5 days of the test match and leave with the scheduled departure flight. And I have to wonder, Trevor, if this will now be a template or blueprint for West Indies cricket also. but we shall see. Move along in track and field news. The Reggae Marathon will celebrate its 25th anniversary with a historic change. For the first time, the race will move from the iconic Negril Beach 7-mile stretch to the Kingston waterfront. The event is scheduled for Sunday, December the 7th. Race categories will remain intact, and that is the half marathon, the 10,000, and the 5,000-meter races. Race director Alfred Fano Francis says bringing the Reggae Marathon to the capital allows us to share another dimension of the island's culture with the world. The election to elect the next IOC president, this is a kind of source of bone thing now, Trevor. The election to elect the next IOC president will be held at the 144th IOC session from March 18th to the 21st in Greece. There are 7 candidates, and tomorrow, Thursday, January 30th, they will present their programs on camera to the full IOC membership. The 7 candidates are His Royal Highness Prince Faisal Al Hussein, President of the Jordan Olympic Committee, Lord Sebastian Coe, President of World Athletics, Mrs. Christy Coventry, Minister of Youth, Sports, Arts and Recreation in Zimbabwe, Mr. Jonathan Ilyash, a Swedish-British businessman and chairman of Head, a sporting goods company, Mr. David Lapartient, a French politician and sporting administrator, and Mr. Juan Antonio Samaranch, sports executive and financial analyst. And then there is Marinari Watanabe, a Japanese businessman and president of the International Gymnastics Federation. Here's a source of bone, Trevor. A person of color or a woman has never been elected president of the IOC. You think the IOC sermon about universality, inclusion, and diversity is just that talk? In the world of football, end of the Saudi road for Brazilian star Neymar. His Saudi club, Al Hilal, say they have an agreement to terminate the player's contract by mutual consent, thus bringing to an end his 18-month injury-plagued stay at Al Hilal. Neymar played just 7 times since joining the club in August of 2023. In fact, 2 months after arriving in Riyadh, he ruptured a cruciate ligament in his left knee while playing for Brazil in a World Cup qualifier in October 2023. That kept him sidelined for a year. Then shortly after returning to action with Al Hilal, last October, he picked up a hamstring injury and hasn't played since. Neymar is Brazil's leading goal scorer with 79 goals in 127 matches.
How much was he paid, John?
Was it 100 and I forget, so 100 and something million? The contract.
Oil can done.
And oil and water don't go well, you know, Trevor. But you know, he has not really had a good run. Injury, really, and I think, and as I've said, you know, a lot of times, and Neymar has, as far as I'm concerned, caused his injuries a lot. because of how he plays. I think as his career advanced, he should have tried to become more of a distributor and not take on the defense or a defensive player until maybe he is inside the box. But I guess he likes to make defensive players look stupid. And so defensive players say, we're not having any of that. Yeah. And so sometimes they come in and they say, man our ball. Yeah. Anyway, CONCACAF Women's Under-17 qualifiers have started, and I'll just run through the scores. Trinidad and Tobago, 3 goals to zip over St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Puerto Rico, 5-zip over U.S. Virgin Islands. Cuba, 2-1 over Guyana. Panama, 9-zip over Turks and Caicos Islands. El Salvador, 9-zip over Anguilla. Guatemala, 3-1 over Curacao. Bermuda, 2-zip over Cayman Islands. Honduras, 2-zip over Belize. Nicaragua, 4-zip over St. Kitts and Nevis. Dominica, 5-zip over Grenada. Jamaica Under-17 Reggae Girls open their CONCACAF qualifiers against St. Kitts and Nevis tomorrow. And they follow that up in their Group E game by taking on the Group E leaders in the game on Saturday. In Jamaica Premier League action, second round, again, Mount Pleasant, 1 goal to zip over Tivoli on the weekend, a record 11 consecutive wins for Mount Pleasant so far this season. Honored Gods and Cavalier in a 2-2 stalemate. Mount Pleasant and Portmore in a 0-0 stalemate. Chapelton Maroons 3-zip over Waterhouse. Racing 3 goals to zip over Veer. Harbourview win a game, defeating Dunbeholden 4 goals to 1. Mount Malines United 2-1 over Humberland. Now there are midweek games, and today schedule calls for Harbourview and Racing. Montego Bay against Waterhouse, Chapelton Maroons against Dunbeholding, while tomorrow Malines takes on Portmore, Mount Pleasant plays Veer, and Cavalier Tivoli Gardens, then Arnett Gardens plays Humber Lion. This weekend, Portmore will take on Humber Lion, Chapelton against Racing, Dunbeholding against Montego Bay United, Harbourview plays Mount Pleasant, Waterhouse against Malines United, Veer plays Cavalier, while Tivoli will host Arnett Gardens. The leading Jamaica Premier League goal scorer going into this weekend's games are Jamalro Calvin of Cavalier with 11 goals, Brian Brown of Montego Bay United on 10 goals, while Kimoni Bailey of Mount Pleasant and Warner Brown of Arnett Gardens and Shaquille Thomas of Montego Bay United all have 9 goals. And jumping along to the English Premiership from the weekend, Bournemouth 5-zip over Nottingham Forest, Everton 1-zip over Brighton, Liverpool 4-1 over Ipswich, Newcastle 3-1 over Southampton, Arsenal 1-zip over Wolverhampton Wanderers, Manchester City 3-1 over Chelsea, Leicester 2-1 over Tottenham, Brentford 2-1 over Crystal Palace, Aston Villa 1-1 with West Ham, and Manchester United 1-zip over Fulham. In Women's Super League, Manchester City women defeated Aston Villa women 4 goals to 2. However, Jamaica Reggae Girl and Manchester City star Khadija Bonishaw still out with a leg injury. And of course, today, the UEFA Champions League in action over there across the pond in Europe. And I'll just run through the scores. Aston Villa 4-2 over Celtic, Barcelona and Atalanta in a 2-2 stalemate, Bayer Leverkusen 2-zip over Sparta Prague, Bayern Munich 3-1 over Slova Bratislava, Borussia Dortmund 3-1 over Shakhtar Donetsk. Real Madrid 3-0 over Brest. Dynamo Zagreb 2-1 over AC Milan. Arsenal 2-1 over Girona. Inter Milan 3-0 over Monaco. Benfica 2-0 over Juventus. Lille 3-1 over Feyenoord. Manchester City came from behind 3-1 over Club Brugge. PSV 3-2 over Liverpool. Atletico Madrid 5-1 over Red Bull Salzburg. Sporting and Bologna in a 1-1 stalemate, and Paris Saint-Germain 4-1 over Stuttgart. Red Star Belgrade 1-0 over Young Boys. And just going across the pond, across the Caribbean, it's with sadness that we report the passing of former Trinidad and Tobago football star Leroy Delian. Leroy passed in the San Fernando General Hospital, where he was being treated for the effects of 2 strokes in December. He made his national team debut for Trinidad and Tobago at age 16. Delian was regarded as special, and in 2016, actually named the greatest secondary schools football league player for the first 50 years. He was inducted into the Trinidad and Tobago Sports Hall of Fame in 2018. Certainly heartfelt condolences to the family of Leroy Delian out of Trinidad and Tobago, and certainly to the Trinidad and Tobago soccer fraternity and Caribbean soccer fraternity at large. Dominica's triple jump Olympic gold medalist Stella Fon de Gadsden has been appointed as the Dominica Destination Brand Ambassador and Brand Ambassador for the National Bank of Dominica. 2024 was certainly a bumper year for her, as she won Dominica's first ever athletic title when she won the triple jump at the World Athletics Indoor Championships in Glasgow with a personal best leap of 15.02 meters. And St. Lucia's sprint queen, Julian Alfred, named St. Lucia's Female Athlete of the Year, while Olympian Michael Joseph took the Male Athlete of the Year award. In Trinidad and Tobago Premier League soccer football, Phoenix FC Phoenix and Terminix in a 1-1 stalemate. Central 4-0 over Fortune Civic. And St. Benedict's College finally learned their fate, as the Secondary Schools Football League Arbitration Committee upheld the original decision of its disciplinary committee to deduct 12 points for the use of Daryl Garcia in 4 matches during the 2024 season. So, Fatima College are to be crowned 2024 Secondary Schools Football League champions. With the 12-point loss, St. Benedict's has dropped down to 4th on the points table. Football, of course, now we're talking about the one that they run in with their hands. The Super Bowl in 2 weeks, Sunday, February 9th. The Kansas City Chiefs go after 3 on the trot against the Philadelphia Eagles in New Orleans. Chiefs got by the Buffalo Bills 32-29 on Sunday, while the Eagles tripped up the Washington Commanders 55-23 to get to the Super Bowl. Not sure who is your pick for the Super Bowl, Trevor, but I know who my wife's pick is.
Well, John, no, let's hope they don't have any snow in New Orleans in 2
Well, they're playing the snow same way, Trevor. Let us clear the field and say, game on. You know? Anyway, we close with a bit of cricket history on this Wednesday afternoon. And on this day in 2023, India's under 19 women won their first ever women's under 19 World Championship title when they defeated England women by 7 wickets at Potchefstroom in South Africa. England women 68 in 17.1 overs. India women 69 for 3 in 14 overs. And Trevor, before I close, I am going to try to see if I can pick up a quick score on where the game between West Indies women and Bangladesh is now. And hopefully I can pick it up on this piece of thing I have here called a phone. Okay, as promised, West Indies women scored 201 for 6 in their 20 overs. Bangladesh women coming to bat. And that's where we draw stumps on John Sports Corner for this Wednesday afternoon on the Sosofat Media Network. But remember, folks, go to the Winner Circle store in the Sosofat shop and select merchandise that's there. Purchase something from the store, and including the Great Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee is there. Get a packet or two and light up the house with that aroma. Enjoy the rest of the week, family, and we'll see you next week, Wednesday. In fact, this is the last program in the month of January. So when we come back next week, we are in the month of February. Enjoy.